Hello and welcome to the virtual freezer meal workshop. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we are going to be making Chipotle Burgers, Chimichurri Steak, Chimichurri Chicken, Adobo Chicken, and Barbecue Beef Sloppy Joes. So if you haven't already, get all of your meat prepped in your bags. The object of this, you have the instructions here under meat prep. The object of this is to simply not have to handle raw meat, and it will allow us to move through the workshop much faster. So this workshop should take us about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I will be pausing in between recipes to clean up my workstation. At that time, I encourage you to pause, clean up your workstation, and come back as well. I have all my ingredients out. I recommend that you do the same. I also have a cutting board, a little basket to hold my bags of food so they don't tip over. I have my garbage right next to me. If you don't have your garbage next to you, get like a big mixing bowl or something that you can throw your garbage into. I have some paper towels handy, and of course, my instructions. So I recommend that you grab those things as well, and once you're ready, go ahead and come back and we'll get started. All right, so we are going to first up do our chimichurri steak. So get your bag that is labeled chimichurri steak. I like to open my bag up, fold that seal over so it's ready for me to pour into. So for this, we are going to, in a separate bowl, whisk up our marinade. So we're going to need that chimichurri seasoning. You're going to need some oil and then some water as well. So starting off, you're going to need 1/4 of a cup of the seasoning mixture. This is such a good seasoning. I had many people actually ask if it was spicy, and it is not. It is a garlicky herb seasoning. It is great on vegetables. You can throw it into like chicken salad, on your steak, all sorts of things. You can make like a mayo-based dip as well as like an oil dip as well, which is basically what we're doing now, and then we're throwing it on our meat. So you have 1/4 cup of your chimichurri seasoning. You need 1/3 cup of oil and 2 tablespoons of water. I use avocado oil, but you can have extra virgin oil or olive oil, whatever works for you. So you're gonna get your oil in there, and then go ahead and get 2 tablespoons of water. Once you have all of those ingredients, you're just going to whisk this to mix. So again, you could stop here, and instead of put it on your meat, in future you could put this on vegetables. You could put this like with crackers, or with even like a French bread would be really good. You can put this on pasta. This chimichurri has become one of my favorites. Once that's good and mixed up easily, all we're going to do is we're going to put it right on top of our meat, just as so. You can scrape all that good stuff in there. Got some on my finger. That's why we have paper towels nearby. And then you're going to go ahead and close this. Get as much air out as you can. And then you're just gonna knead that together. And you guys, this is gonna marinate your steak so good. I promise moving forward, you're gonna wanna do this more and more. So, all right. Now I came ill prepared, and I do not have freezer bags. I just have regular Ziploc bags. Getting all that air out. So I'm going to double bag mine. If you have a good quality bag, you do not have to double bag yours. But again, I'm just protecting since I did not do a freezer bag. So this is an easy prep. All you're gonna do on the day that you're gonna cook this up is you're gonna throw it on the grill or maybe a cast iron pan inside. You could even dice it up and put it in the air fryer, would be really good as well. Cook it to your preferred doneness for steak. and it's good to go. Easy peasy. All right, we're gonna actually, instead of pausing, we're gonna move it right into the next one because we're using the same exact ingredients. We're just going to put it over chicken this time. So get out your chicken chimichurri bag, and we're gonna do this all over again, okay? So we had, how much oil again? 1/3 cup of oil. One-4 cup of, I'm gonna have to use a different one, seasoning. Call that good. And then go get your 2 tablespoons of water. And again, we're going to just get that good and mixed up. And then we're going to put it right over our chicken. Now, once you cook this up, if you have leftover chicken, I highly recommend that you turn it into a chicken salad with a little bit of mayo. It is so good. We do that a lot. We like to take chicken salad out on the boat. And so I make this a lot to go in my chicken salad. All right, pour that over your chicken. Get all that good stuff in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and knead that together. Now, my chicken tenderloin pieces are actually frozen. My local grocery store did not have any fresh. So it may be a little bit harder to get moved around, but go ahead and just try and coat that the best that you can to get all those pieces. And again, the same as the steak chimichurri, you're gonna go ahead and throw this on the grill or a cast iron pan. Again, you could dice it up and put it in the air fryer if you want. And then you can serve this over lettuce or as a sandwich. And then, like I said, if you have leftover, dice it up really finely and then throw some mayo with it. It's another great option. All right, so I'm gonna get my workspace cleaned up here a little bit. You do the same and I'll meet you right back. All right, so we are back now and we are going to move into our Chipotle burgers. So go ahead and grab your bag with your ground meat in it. I did choose beef. I like ground turkey, nothing against it, but for a burger, I gotta have beef. All right, so we're gonna open that up and right inside, we are going to put the following ingredients and then we're gonna get it all mixed up. So we're gonna start off with 2 eggs. So again, we are making burgers. However, sometimes we like to make this as a meatloaf. And so you could easily do that as well if you would like to try it. It's really good on the smoker. We use our smoker quite often. So you got your 2 eggs. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of plain breadcrumbs. Well, that's about it for that for me. We're going to add in 1/2 cup of ketchup. The Measure-All, this here is a great tool for all of your sticky ingredients, mayo, honey, molasses, ketchup. So you can do liquid in this part, and then here when you push this down, you can do your solid. So, oh, I put it together wrong. That's why I was not doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to 1/2 cup, as you can see here, and then I'm going to put my ketchup in. So I have my 1/2 cup of ketchup, and then doing that, it just gets everything out, and then I just will scrape that against the side. So 1/2 cup of ketchup. We're going to do also 2 garlic cloves. So this here is a bulb of garlic. Inside are your cloves. So you want to get 2 of those out. If you do not have a garlic press, you need to get one. Let me show you the garlic press, and then we'll talk about what to do if you don't have it. You can put it in there with the wrapper on it and everything. You do not have to get that out. And then look at all that garlic. Isn't that cool? You're just going to scrape it there. Okay. Take the wrapper into the garbage, and then we're going to get our second one. If you do not have a garlic press, you can go ahead and peel your garlic and chop it up as fine as you can get it, so it incorporates well into the burger. So 2 garlic cloves. Do you know what's really funny is I forgot to put on my paper. I'll have to fix that before I send it out to you guys. This is why we do this. We're going to put 3 tablespoons of the chipotle rub. Now, that is a smoky spice rub is how I would describe that. It is not super spicy, but if you are concerned of the level of spice, you can go ahead and add half of the amount if you so choose. All right, so your smoky, and then 3/4 cup of cilantro leaves. So I have my cilantro here. You can start picking your leaves off, or if you have a handy tool like a herb stripper, you can use that. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you how this works. So this is a serrated nylon knife. This is a newer item to Pampered Chef, but it has these little holes in there, which is your herb stripper. So you can just get all those herbs stripped right off. So we need, what did I say? 3/4 of a cup. Do not put them straight into your bags. We are going to chop them up just a little bit before we put them in, so they cook and incorporate just a little bit better than this. Woo! It's raining cilantro. If you do not have that kind of tool, then what you can also do is take your finger and your thumbnail and just kind of do that and strip it yourself. That works just as well. That's an old trick to do. Sometimes that can, like I said, work just as well. But if stripping herbs is something you do often and this looks fun, you can definitely check out the herb stripper as well. Some people do not like the flavor of cilantro. We love it. If you are a person that is not keen on cilantro, then I hope you didn't buy it and you don't have to incorporate it. Other ways to use your leftover cilantro is to make up some guacamole. You can put it in with a salad. You can put it on Asian dishes, all sorts of things. So I have my 3/4 cup. And then, like I said, we're going to just run a knife through that to dice it up a little bit. I'm going to get the other knife though. Sometimes I like to kind of fold it all together and then just give it a good little dice up. We also have a cool tool called the mince and roll that will help with this as well. So if you use cilantro a lot, I would highly recommend getting that. It's good for garlic and other herbs also. But for the purpose of today, I'm just going to use my knife. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now we're going to add that into our bag also. All right. So once you have your ketchup, cilantro leaves, breadcrumbs, egg, and garlic cloves, as well as your chipotle seasoning, we're then going to close this up and again get as much of that air out as you can. And then we're going to work to just really knead that together. So you want to, it'll take a couple minutes, go ahead and knead it really, really well. get it all incorporated, and then make sure you get all that air out again. And then I am keeping mine as like one big concoction right now. So when I thaw it is when I will decide if I'm gonna do like the meatloaf that I talked about, or if I'm gonna make it into burgers. I find it's easier just to go ahead and thaw it all together rather than try and freeze patties together. I just haven't had very good luck with that. If you prefer and want to make your burgers now and put some like parchment paper in between them, you can certainly do that. But like I said, I think I'm going to keep this together in case we decide to do a meatloaf or something different than burgers. So get that all mixed up, and then meet me back here in a little bit once you get your area cleaned up, and we'll move on to the next recipe. Okay, welcome back. For our next recipe, we're going to do the adobo chicken. You're going to need a small food processor or the manual food processor to get your marinade ready. If you do not have that, then you're going to need some good knife skills and a mixing bowl. All right, so we are doing the adobo chicken. Now this calls for 8 chicken breasts that are like 4 to 6 ounces each. If you're like me and you want to divide that up, I have 2 bags, so I have 4 breasts in each bag. Please do that. If you would like, go ahead and pause and divide your meat up if you want to do that. Okay. So in our food processor, I have out the Twist and Chop. This is a newer item, and it's small and mighty and really fun to use, so I'm excited to show you. We need a small to medium onion. I had this really large onion that I cut in half, so I'm going to use half of this. Get the wrapper off of there. You're going to need your honey, tomato paste, but I'm going to start with just getting this down just a little bit. So I want you to see the power of this little gadget. So I have a half onion, and I'm just going to flip it. Awesome. And then the nice thing, when the lid's off, I cannot turn it on. It has a great safety feature that way. All right, so you're in here, you're going to put your onion. We just did. You're going to get 2 tablespoons of your tomato paste. Where's my... Actually, I'm going to get my other little... I have a little baby measure all cup even, you guys. Look at this. This is so cute. So we're going to go to 2, fill this up, and plunge that in. Put my lid back. You need a half a cup of honey. So that's also where that little measure all is going to come in handy. There it is. Which I lost mine, but I didn't. It's right here. 1/2, and then this is probably going to use up just about all this honey. So adobo chicken is a smoky flavored chicken as well. This is going to be a great one again on the grill. This is going to take forever. Look at that. And me being impatient, I'm like, I'm going to put the lid on, and I'll use that for something else. I'm going to get my new stuff. You can cook this on the grill. You could also do this on a skillet. If you would like, you can serve this with like a sweet corn is really good. Oh, you do that at home too. Come on. It'd be good with a salad as well. All right. So put my honey in. And then we also need 1 tablespoon of the smoky barbecue. This is one of my favorite seasonings on chicken for the grill. And then 1.5 tablespoons of chipotle. And then 2 tablespoons of your balsamic vinegar. So again, we have 1 onion, 1/2 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1.5 tablespoons of chipotle rub, 1 tablespoon of smoky barbecue, and then 2 tablespoons of balsamic. So now we're going to get this all mixed up and just pull it. All right, so that makes a really nice sauce. All right, so if you wanted to, you could just divide this between your 2 bags or put it all in one. Or the suggestion is to have a small bag to use for like basting when you're cooking. So get out your quart size bags if you choose to do that. And I'm going to take the blade out. And then I'm just going to, we're going to put a little bit into 2 quart size bags and then a little bit over the chicken, and then we're going to put those 2 bags into a 3rd bag. Okay, so you can eyeball it, you can measure it. I like to eyeball. So I just want to have a little bit for basting and then a little bit in the chicken bag to marinate. Don't skip out. Get all that good stuff in there. This will, I'm going to just warn you, it's going to make a little mess on your grill when you cook it up, but it's going to be worth it because it's so delish. Again, this adobo chicken is really good with like corn on the cob, sweet corn. It is also good as a sandwich or as a salad. So in each of your bags, get all that air out. And then work it around, just like that. This you can grill, you can pan fry as well. And again, you're just going to cook this until the chicken reaches 165. Then you know it's good and done. You could even make this like a fajita. That would be really good too. Make this into fajitas. All right, so now once I have those bags, I'm going to take a 3rd bag. I'm going to put in my chicken, and then I'm going to put in a basting sauce. Just like that. All right, go ahead and get things tidied up, and then meet me back here for our last recipe. All right, we are back for our last recipe, the barbecue beef sloppy joes. We really like this recipe as well. It has as you can imagine, a smoky flavor since we're using that smoked seasoning. So again, right into the bag, we're going to start off. So this burger should be browned and it should have an onion. If you didn't already have an onion in it, go ahead and dice up an onion and throw it in now and it will cook later. That's fine. You're going to press 2 cloves of garlic in. Again, if you don't have a garlic press, go ahead and just dice that to the best of your ability. I hope this has come together very easily for you. And I hope that you're finding this very helpful as well. All right, so after you get that, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of smoky barbecue rub. I'm going to put 6 in because I have a half of a tablespoon here with me. 2. Okay, so 3 tablespoons of the smoky barbecue, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar. There you are. Like, I know it's out here somewhere. And this is going to be the easiest one to prep on cooking day because this is a heat and eat recipe since your meat is already cooked. And then we need 1.5 cups of ketchup. I like to usually end on the last one because it's like, whew, we're done. Feels good. So there's 1. And then 1/2. This is going to be great as your traditional sloppy joe with a bun. It's also really good if you do want to make it like a tater tot casserole and put your meat in a pan and then add tater tots on top. Is a fun little twist, and you could add some cheese as well. This is one of my girls' favorites, but I have a kiddo who just loves sloppy joes anyways because her name is Haley Joe, and she thinks they're named after her. So, all right, isn't that easy? So we're going to go ahead and get all of that air out, and you're just going to knead it all and mix it all together. And this is also a good one that you can throw in the crock pot on like a busy afternoon or evening. Let it go just for a little bit to heat up, and it's going to be a quick dinner done. So again, I hope that you have enjoyed this prep time with me. Thank you again for participating. If you want to learn more about upcoming virtual events like this, be sure to let me know. If you saw some products that you are interested in getting into your kitchen and you want to place a second order, or you want to host a party of your own and get them at a great discount, please let me know. I'd love to help you with that as well. It is my purpose and my why of joining Pampered Chef to begin with was for these freezer meal workshops and to help people get meals in their homes rather than out to eat, drive through all the time. So I hope that this helps you with that. And if you have any questions on any other services that I provide, please reach out, and thanks again.